Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Utsav Shukla, and I rise today to argue the affirmative that men indeed are endangered species. And when I say that, I want to first put out a disclaimer with huge amount of apprehension that when I say that men are endangered species, I am not proposing the fact that that women empowerment or women are taking over men, because I believe that this whole concept of women empowerment has become a part of popcorn journalism, where this term women empowerment has become this sort of a fabled sacrosanct term, that anything said against this term called women empowerment is called blasphemy. And I want to question the very idea and the belief, because women empowerment was brought out to bring a sense of equality. And now with the idea of feminazi coming onto the forefront, it is becoming a very dangerous argument and a very dangerous proposition. And that's why I'm proposing the motion that men are endangered species. Now I want to first bring out the very basic idea that in a very analogous definition, there is always an opposite of for a she, there is a he. For a beautiful, there is an handsome. But when you talk about misogyny, there is also a term which is called misandry that exists. And I want to bring this forth this point that from the last 15, 20 years, then this entire idea of women empowerment has come to the forefront. There's also exists another side, which is on the other side of the moon, which is misandry. And misandry starts from the very basic fact when you talk about a kid, a 5-year-old kid, not to cry like a girl. That's where misandry begins. It begins when you ask a man to man up. That's when misandry begins. When you expect a man to dress in white and not in pink, that's when misandry begins. And it goes on forever and ever. And it's also important to understand that in the Indian Constitution, there's always a Ladli Yojana that comes up. There is all the rights that exist, and there are numerous cases, numerous instances to prove that women in the last 10, 15 years have been empowered, but equally men have been subjugated. And that is the exact reason I want to propose that men, in a certain sense, are getting endangered. Why? Because their rights are being subjugated as well. Because if you look at from a social construct, from a basic gender definition, as being proposed by my fellow speakers as well, the idea of man is like with having emotions, where in historic times was considered only as a hunter, as a gatherer, as a provider. And those definitions are being challenged. So the sole idea of a man just being the sole breadwinner of the family are being challenged as well. So the fact they are being endangered, my answer is a resounding yes. And with that, I'm proud to propose. Thank you so much.